And so just kind of give us a broad overview of what the hearing is about today.
Well, the purpose of the hearing is a request by the estate of Mallory Beach, joined in by the Conocook family and the Satterfield families, asking this court to enjoin any further financial activity and to appoint a receiver who would discover funds, marshal funds, and so forth.
Okay. And so Mr. Murdaugh's the attorney was kind of speaking that there's not really much evidence to support some of these claims. Can you kind of elaborate on that some?
Sure. I mean, nothing is simple in this case. There is no question that we lawyers who have filed these motions are seeking extraordinary relief. But there's also no question that this is an extraordinary case. There are very few cases where what appears to be a wasting of assets to avoid the ultimate day in court, it's very rare that that's able to be shown in real time, as was done today through these documents and the presentation by Mr. Tinsley. So we know a number of things. We know that Alex Murdaugh has been saying for a couple of years that he is broke. We know, however, that they have massive holdings. We know that things are being sold and disappearing, and even given Maurdaugh's inconvenient circumstances in jail, he has a surrogate, a POA. So we think that this is an appropriate act for the court. We think it's the only way to protect all the parties and to marshal resources and to prevent this wasting. We're optimistic and hopeful the judge will agree with us.
And with what the co-defendant attorney was talking about with the other possible alternative that he had, can you kind of give an overview of that and what that really kind of elaborate on that?
The alternative proposed by one of the lawyers here was simply for the court to, I guess we would call it splitting the baby, to grant an injunctive act, but which the court may ultimately choose to do and decline to appoint a receiver. But we believe both are important because the receiver's role, if granted as we have proposed, it would allow the receiver to go out and discover assets. We know, at least from the public record, that there appear to be millions of dollars unaccounted for. No one but Alex Murdaugh knows where those funds are. We know of other assets, but we don't know of relationships, partnerships, interests that are unrecorded, and so that would be the role of a receiver, and that's why we think that component of this request is important. And the argument is made that this extraordinary action we seek would open the floodgates. Well, there are plenty of protections to prevent every Tom, Dick, and Harry making a similar request. And we think that this extraordinary case and the extraordinary actions that we've seen in real time justify and call for the appointment of a receiver and this immediate injunctive action. So we'll wait.
And my last question, do you think that supporting this action of possibly moving for the receivers, is this what you believe would be at the best interest of the defendants?
Well, I don't think there's any question that stopping the loss of assets, whether these are assets that ultimately the Satterfield family may be entitled to, or the Beach estate, or Conocook, when we're watching in real time the loss of assets, the disappearance of assets, the lack of an ability to discover assets, that's why we've proposed this remedy. So we're hopeful. Nah. Hey, Mary Beth.
I'll let her know that you said hey.